you never know what you're going to get in March here in the Northeast. The other day it was, I think, 70, 71 degrees we hit. And today we're in the mid-20s and it's snowing. So it's back to flannels and hibernating inside. But we do have some cool things that sold. 4 pieces in the Ephemera store that we're going to go over. One of them sold pretty quick and it went for a decent amount of money. I really didn't know what to price this piece at because there's nothing like it that I could find. So let's take a look at those quick and I'll let you know what they sold for. All right, so there's 4 orders going out here in the Ephemera store. The first 2 are going to the same buyer, and then we've got one I'll show at the end here that is it's a lot of several papers. It's like a full sales kit. It's pretty cool. And luckily I found all the pieces that went, at least it looks like I found all the pieces that went with it. But the first order going out is going to a repeat buyer. Lots and lots of repeat buyers. I get repeat buyers pretty much weekly, which is great. This one is from the Clyde Glassworks from 1903. And this one sold for $17.99 with free shipping. The next piece going to the same buyer, also from Clyde Glassworks, looks like a paid invoice for some coal for $228.38, paid November 21st in 1910. Has the paid stamp on the bottom that you still see in use today, I think, pretty sure. This one sold for $15.19, free shipping. The next one is from the S. Armstrong Company, manufacturers and dealers of cooperage of all kinds. So they deal in cooperage supplies. February 19th, 1902. Looks like it's signed by a member of the Armstrong family who was the treasurer at the time. And this piece here sold for $19.99 with free shipping. So the next one here is it's a sales kit for monuments for a cemetery. I think it's like, a 6-piece lot. So it's from the Monument Bronze Company out of Bridgeport, Connecticut. And it's got these different monuments you can choose. 4 foot tall, height 13 feet tall. The base is 4 feet. These are large monuments that you'd have in a cemetery, and I'm sure these were not cheap. I don't think any of these mentioned the prices, but it looks like a person from this company wrote this letter, and then a salesman wrote another letter. I'll show you here in a second. It says, I enclosed photographs of 2 monuments that I bought for you. Number 519 was etched in the spring of 1891, and number 612-99 in the spring of 1901. Both stand in the Mount Olivet Cemetery. And that is not far from me. So I don't know if these are examples of what they're trying to sell this person. I'm assuming they are. But I know exactly where this cemetery is, and more than likely I could go and find these monuments here. But nice handwritten letter, signed by, I can't make out the name, but then it says C.D. Brooks, who is the agent for this monument company out of the Geneva, New York area. And that C.D. Brooks, he's got a stamp on all the pieces of paper here. So he also sent them, along with that sheet, a handwritten letter. It says, your recent letter to the Monument Bronze Company came in my absence, and I now send you some of our reading matter, so you can learn about the everlasting bronze monuments that I have. Oh, and I've placed over 1,000 of them, appointing agents in my territory in western New York. So, nice handwritten letter trying to sell some monuments from C.D. Brooks. So along with that, there's also a few of these pieces here, very, very thin paper. And this one goes to talk about the durability of white bronze. With the C.D. Brooks stamp. And this one talks about something called the Old Oceans Spray that does not affect white bronze except to improve it. From the Atlantic and Pacific, the testimony is the same. Again, with the C.D. Brooks stamp on the bottom here in blue. Next one here looks like this could be testimonials. It looks like a word from the World's Fair. It talks about basically how the white bronze was it's superior to marble and other types of monuments, and that it lasts very long. Again, you got C.D. Brooks stamped at the bottom here. And the last piece here, won both at the Louisiana Purchase Exposition at St. Louis, Missouri, 1904. The true worth of the work recognized. I am very tempted to head to that cemetery and see if I can find the monuments that are in that picture, that sales flyer from 1910. So this as a whole, all of these pieces of paper, I'm glad I found all of them, but you can tell they were folded. This was folded up and sent in an envelope. I wish I had the envelope, because with a lot of these papers that I found here in this lot, the envelope was included with a bunch of them, which is cool. And that helped in previous sales, which brought some pretty good money. So this is a whole, I listed this on March 10th, and the whole lot here sold on March 11th for the full asking price of $89.99 in free shipping. So pretty excited about that. And how am I going to ship this? Because it's $90. I don't want to ship it in just a flat mailer. I might put this in a flat mailer and then sandwich it in between some cardboard. So let's try that right now. We'll see how it works out. All right, so what I think I'm going to do here is I've got one sheet of chipboard on the bottom, and I'm going to get another sheet and put it over the top because I want to kind of sandwich them in here. At least I think this is the best way. If you do something different, let me know. I'm by no means an expert here. Okay, so that looks good. Sandwiched in between these pieces of chipboard like this, and then we can put them, it'll go into this bag a whole lot easier. Perfect. So let's seal this bag up. That looks good. So normally, either I use or I don't use the chipboard, and then I'd put it in one of these Stay Flat mailers here. However, this being $90, I don't want this to be in just a Stay Flat mailer. So I grabbed a couple sheets of cardboard that I had laying around here. And there we go. We're going to sandwich it in between these two, I think. I think this is going to be the best way. It's close to the edges of it, but I think if we do this and we get some tape around it, this is a nice, solid way to ship this thing. So let's get some tape here. Get my scissors because I'm never going to get it to the correct length. All right, I'll just bring this thing over here. I haven't used this in a while. Oh, it's missing the rubber foot, so it's a little wobbly. It's also dripping water, which we don't want anywhere near the paper. So, all right, let's see if I can't screw this up here. How do I want to do this? Do over the edge first. Let's get this thing fed through. Way too long, as expected. And then we'll cut the edge off here. All right, first one started. All right, that's not bad. Nice, good brown tape. I love using this brown tape. I mainly use the clear. I've been using the My Go-To tape because I bought a giant case of the 3-inch, and it's worked out pretty well. But if I'm doing, some stuff I want it to just look nicer, or I want it to be a little more sturdy or secure than if I were using just that clear tape. And this kind of provides that. Because this has the little strings in it, so it's harder to tear off. And it basically turns to like a glue once it dries. So let's get this as close as I can. Still over a tiny bit. We'll do a nice fold. Cut that off so it looks nice. One more and we'll be done. Once in a blue moon I can get these exact. That's a little short on the one side, but that'll be okay. Some more water on that there so it sticks down. And there. Not bad. Actually looks pretty good. So this might be the way I do this for the higher dollar items, especially if I'm shipping something like a, well, if it's very expensive, if it's, into the hundreds, or if one day it's into the thousands, it's probably going to go in a stay flat mailer and then in a box. So let's put these on here too. Let's see what this thing's going to ship for. So where's my tape? All right, got the tape measure. And we're going to get the shipping label. We are 14 by 10 by 1. Do I want to put a little more tape there? I don't know. 10 ounces. What's this going to cost? $5.71. So out of my pocket, it cost me the time, the cardboard, the tape label, and the little do not bend sticker that I always put on these packages. But this isn't going anywhere. This is really, really sturdy. All right, let's get our label put on. Good to go. And while we're here, let's get this thing out of the way. We might as well ship the other pieces of paper here. Let's dry off that water splash. The last thing I want to do is get any of these sheets of paper wet. All right, so we got 3 sheets, 2 orders. Honestly, we could put them in. They don't have to go in these, even though it's not going to save me any money in terms of shipping price. But it will save me a small amount of money in packing material. So you can see these are a little bit smaller. I bought these for when I was getting into a lot of brochures. They're not much smaller. I mean, barely at all, but I bought these at some point. They were cheap and they work. So for these pieces of paper, Clyde Glassworks is going to go together, and we're going to use, if I can get this cord out of the way. I think this is the one we're going to use. So what we'll do, we'll put the two Clydes into one sleeve of plastic here. Fold that over. Get the air out of it. Set this guy aside for now. And there we go. This one's good to go. It weighs in at 3.1 ounces. Got our label. Set this aside. Let's do this one here. This can probably get a smaller sleeve. Will this fit in there? Perfect. All right, so if you looked at any or watched any other videos, I told you how I stopped putting chipboard in all the orders because it knocked it down. It saved me the cost of the chipboard, and it also brings the shipping from 5 ounces to 4 ounces, or 5 ounces and above to 4 ounces. So it actually saves me, a decent amount of money per order. All right, so that's in there. Sealed up, 2.8 ounces. All right, we'll get the label on this one. Put our do not bend stickers. All right, so not too bad. 3 orders going out for about $145 minus the shipping costs and the time and the shipping materials. So I'm going to get these dropped off. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.